My name is Fons Bakker. I'm from Holdan. We're the European distributor of BirdDog, and today I'm going to show you what kind of products BirdDog make. But I'm also more interested in showing you and explaining to you what NDI is and how this can help you in creating live production and sending video over standard networks, and explain to you exactly what it is and what you can expect and what you can see that this will drive into the future. So I've got a lot of slides, a lot of text, but basically, what is NDI? NDI, you know, it all started in 2015, and they New Tech started with the network device interface to control video and audio over a standard network. Basically, at the moment, if you are in a live production, you're using an SDI cable or HDMI cables, or the HDMI cables are more for the consumer market. They've got distance problems. SDI cables also have got distance issues, and they need special connections. The connections are very rigid, that's very good, but still you need a specialized cable for sending this over. And what NDI does is it will help you to use the current network as a basis for your video and audio and all kinds of other control over a standard IP network. So at the moment we are, NDI is in version 5.5, so it's a long history that's behind. There's a lot of issues that have been solved. It's very stable, and it's working very nice, and it's working very well as well. So what is NDI? What it does is it makes everything quite simple, because we are already familiar with working with IP-based networks. And if you are familiar with working with IP-based networks, you can use this for sending over the NDI, audio, video, data, all over this standard network. That can be in a very small situation, in a very small group, but also in a very large situation, in a school, or in a, so it's in a big company. So it's scalable, it's expandable. There are some free tools you can use if you are interested. After today, you can just download from the New Tech site the NDI tools. It will give you the opportunity to monitor NDI on the network, to use your laptop as a source and to show it on another network as a monitor, and in that way you can become familiar with it. But there's a lot of other programs that are also on this set available, that are free to use and that are simple to use. So I encourage you to start working with this. NDI, it can work in a local situation, in a very local situation where you have just one switch and a couple of cables and a couple of cameras and a couple of monitors connected, and they can all work together. But it can also work in a very large situation, like a school, like I just mentioned before. But also it can also be transmitted over the cloud. So from one situation, one location to another location, and you can monitor the camera A in location A to a monitor in the other location. And in that sense, it's easy to work in a remote situation live. The big advantage of NDI is that it's got a minimum latency. It's got a high quality. It's got everything you need for professional production. So there's no limitation, like I said, no limitation to your network. You can work on gigabit Ethernet, 10 gig Ethernet. Obviously gives you much more bandwidth, so that is very nice. And it can also use to do the metadata over your network, so you can have back and forth control over your cameras and over your over all the products you're in. whether it's a converter or a camera or whatever it's needed. And there's a lot of software tools that are free. There are software tools that you can buy that can do the editing, like vMix and other stuff. So it's kind of a platform. You know, an SDI cable is just a cable. The NDI platform brings you into a different world because you can do everything from start to finish, from to create anything you want. Like I said, it's bi-directional, and it's got a very big range of products that can be used to it. Laptops, converters, cameras, all these kind of equipment can be used, including also now all the mobile phones. And of course, if you can pull NDI over the network, and I'm going to show you what BirdDog has created for these kind of tools. This can be used very easily on your network as well. So the advantage of NDI, well, it's like I said, I'm talking about full uncompressed NDI, and full uncompressed NDI is got a low latency of just 1 frame, which means that it's very quick, and that's the big difference between NDI HX, which uses a H.264 compression. Now, if you're familiar with compression, you loses the big picture quality, of course. It's a compressed image, so you can see bending and all kind of other issues on your screen. But B, it's a compression where it analyzes the picture over a certain range of frames and then starts encoding and making expectations or parts of the image that are going to be repeated. That takes time to develop, and it takes frames to calculate before you can output it. With uncompressed NDI, and that's what we're talking about, and that's what BirdDog is doing from the beginning, is sending over line by line the uncompressed video over your network, which means there's no compression and there's no delay, a minimum delay, and you can work always very easily. It's format agnostic, and one of the big advantages as well is if you're using the LAN connections to the cables to connect your camera, these cables can also be used as a power, as a power supply. So power over Ethernet is an easy tool to have just one cable connecting to a monitor, one cable connecting to a camera, and one connector to a converter. And it can power, it can control it, it can adjust it in any size you want. So what you need to be aware of, and that's when you think, aha, I'm very enthusiastic and now I'm going to buy lots of cameras and start working with it and use my normal switch for it. It can work, and especially if it's only 1 stream or 2 streams, there's no problem.
It cannot work.
No, it's
normal switch.
No,
it's 1 stream, yes. But
yes, 1 stream, yes, but for the more, it's going to be a big problem. I agree. So what we always recommend is use the Netgear switches, which it's like you can use any kind of switch, of course, Cisco or whatever kind of brand that is a managed switch at least. But then you need to have a lot of knowledge about how to set up the networks, and what Netgear does well is make an interface so any dummy can say, okay, I've got these ports on my backside of my switch. I want to connect this group of devices to it, and you can plug it in, and it's going to work, and that makes life a lot easier. And it's these switches are, what I'm saying is, it looks very expensive, but it's not. It's just basic stuff. So this is what it's what you should look at in terms of bandwidth of video. Since it's scalable, there are many users who use a lot of devices into one network. That needs to be obviously be managed quite well, and that's where you need to be aware of making special groups for this. and connect them well, but it's all working and it's all possible, and anything you want can be done. So that was a little bit about NDI. So you know that it's it's just a new way of connecting devices and connecting audio and video and metadata into a network. And BirdDog is one of the companies that stepped in quite early. In 2016 it started. It's an Australian company, and there are other Australian companies that do similar things. They produce products, put it on the market for a different price point than the competitors are doing, and that's where BirdDog's success comes from. They make very nice, well-designed products and bring it to a mass market in a very transparent way. So this is what it is. It started all with a chip that they thought of, that we're not going to work with compression, we're going to work with uncompressed video, and made a special silicon chip, and they're the only ones that started with it at that point of time. So this is the original first chip that has been used. It's line-based encoding, so not frame-based but line-based. It's the lowest possible latency, the highest image quality. It can encode or decode, so you can select whatever you want to do. And it's very, very small and very easy. So what they made out of it is products. Cameras, of course, that we all see downstairs. The PTZ cameras that are really famous from BirdDog, but also a very broad range of converters, from very compact ones that can fit on a DSLR camera, up to 4K converters, rack mount open ear converters. All kind of converters can be used. And they make, since they have so much knowledge about NDI and so much background, they make software where you are able to manage all these video streams in your network in an elegant way. So you can say, okay, I've got this group of receivers, this group of cameras or converters, and I want to connect these images to this size, to this destination, this source to this destination, and switch easily between these ones. So here's the range of cameras. For the cameras, they all use, like I said, they all use full NDI. Now there are a lot of people, a lot of competitors in the market that claim we do NDI, and then they put it on the brochure and they say that it's NDI, but it's NDI HX, which is the compressed version. So do take care that you're not fooled around. NDI HX is this compressed version where you have this latency issue. With full NDI, you have full control. We've got a very nice camera control software where you can manage your colors in a very high-end way. All cameras have, of course, NDI and HDMI and SDI outputs, USB, power over Ethernet. So these are all the standard issues that can be used. We're also Dental compatible, so whenever there's an audio that needs to be embedded into the video, we can use the Dental Bridge software to do that. The PF120 is the box camera. That's the compact one. It's ideal for a studio setup where you have a couple of where you need a couple of cameras, or a theater where you have fixed solutions. You want to have fixed positions. That's where the P120 comes in. It's small, it's stable, and it's got everything. You can put it somewhere, and since it's power over Ethernet, you can just switch the camera on and off over the network and use it. It's got the sensor that is being used in the PF120 is the same sensor that is being used in the P110 and the P120, so it is kind of compatible. So if you want to have full PTZ control, pan tilt zoom control, then you can use the P120. It's a new camera that's been out for half a year now. It's got this very nice interface where you can see on the front which IP channels you're using, or what the encoding is, or what the name is on the network. It's got this nice tally light on top of the camera, so the Mohawk tally they call it. In every position you can see that the camera is switched on. What's also new is that we now have support for 3D, which is a plugin that can be used in Unreal live rendering. So you can make augmented reality shows or all kind of stuff with it, because it will give out all the camera information, the pan tilt zoom information, and the lens information to the rendering software, and then you can put layers on top of it and make this kind of shows with it. The P200 is the more a bigger sensor. It's got a 30 times zoom, and it's this is one of the most popular cameras, or it is the most popular camera that we've been selling worldwide for a long time now. And it's now being replaced by the P240, which comes later, but we do have some P200s still out, so I just want to show you. There is a promo now going, so you can use that one. The P240, that's the new camera that is out and released now. Finally, we got it, and it's a much bigger sensor with a lot more quality inside. So you're basically, if you look at it, the sensor itself is 4K. The output of the camera is HD, so you will use HD, but it's looking at the 4K image, and it's calculating the colors out of it. So you can imagine that you have much less noise, and you can go up to a much better quality. And it's got also XLR output for professional input for professional audio connections, so that can be used therefore. The P400, it's the 4K camera, and there's always been this, once you start working in 4K, you see that the image quality goes up, and that's what you also see now with the P240, of course. But if you want to have the 4K output on your screen, on your NDI, you can use an SDI, you can use the P400. And it's a very nice image quality you get out of it. And the top level is the P4K. This is a 1-inch sensor, so it's a really large size sensor. So if you look at the quality you get out of it, you get a very nice bokeh, very nice shady colors that really think that you are looking through a professional film cinema lens, and that comes out of the P4K. And for the rest, it's the list shows you exactly what it does. It's really the high-end quality that can compete in the broadcast to all the high-end broadcast competitors in the market. And that's what a lot of the companies like BBC and other companies are doing. They're testing and seeing and looking at the image quality, and they all agree that it's the quality is excellent. So it's perfect for use for that kind of use. The A200 is an outdoor camera, so it's basically gives you the capabilities of a P200, but with a very rugged, waterproof housing. So you can use it on poles or whatever for football matches or for sports, for live events, for all kind of situations, traffic or whatever is needed. And the A300 is an even more advanced camera with nitrogen filled housing, so it doesn't have any condense issues. It's a very high quality camera. So this is the way how you control it. In the past we had another control, so BirdDog is very proud of the new interface. It's very clean and nice to see what you're using. We're now looking at a quad converter. It's a converter that can output 4 channels, output or input, and you can just select what you want to do. But it shows you the whole nice output. This is all being managed over the network, so every product of BirdDog has an own IP address in your network, and if you type in the IP address, you will see this kind of information, and you will be able to control it and set it up and do whatever you want to install. The PTZ keyboard is the keyboard that's being used to control the cameras. So basically, it's a pretty standard keyboard, but it does all the works for you, and BirdDog is constantly developing new features into the keyboard to get it more up and more advanced features inside. But at the moment, you can do very nice control on the movements. That's been improved in the last version a lot. So these are the cameras, and now we have the encoders. So this is the mini encoder. That's really an encoder, any camera in your studio, whether it's a DSLR camera or other kind of camera. You can hook it up. It will when you have connected it to your network, it will also give you the tally information on it, so the cameraman can see what they're doing. The 4K series is a series of products that also have this nice LED output, so you can see what you're encoding or decoding, what the name is, and it gives you a very nice and easy way of having an SDI source, or you want to have a SDI source to go to a monitor, and or an HDMI source to a monitor, whatever you need. You can select it and control it and put it there. Like I said, the quad is a 4-channel converter. So this is ideal if you, for instance, there are a lot of people who are still, for some sort of reason, think that or use cameras in a mixed environment where some cameras are NDI, some cameras are SDI, and you just want to have multiple SDI sources. And a couple of NDI sources, and you go to a Blackmagic Design ATEM switch or whatever they use. You need to convert a lot of channels. Then you can use a quad to just go one cable in, and then you convert to the you decode to 4 outputs. That's easy to manage them. This is the Flex. That's a very lightweight, small box that can be fitted on a camera, and can do the same as the studio in a very elegant way. It's only HDMI, but it gives you a very good price point and HDMI input and an output. Then BirdDog developed the wall plates. The wall plates are basically for a in a business environment or a school or educational institute or whatever is needed. It fits into the wall, and it can do the encoding and decoding in the wall. And since you can manage it over your network and group it and connect it, it's ideal for situations for large companies or other installations. It's more like a system integration product that fits into this field. The SDM modules, downstairs we have all products, or we have a group of products of BirdDog, and next to us is the NEC and Sharp booth, And they've got monitors that can have these SDM modules, as they call it. It's basically a slot into a monitor that can fit in with, it's an Intel invention. And BirdDog has been asked to develop a card for it, for some of these big institutes and other things, and that's what it is. So you can slide it in, and you can use it as a encoder or a decoder. And in that sense, you can upgrade your monitor directly to an NDI monitor. They're being shown downstairs at the NEC booth as well. And open gear, this is more for the broadcast environment where people use open gear boxes, 19-inch rack mounts in large situations, and you need multiple channels to go in and out. That's where this is for, that's used for. And the pod, this is not here yet. It's not. It's introduced at IBC, but it's it's going to take some time before it's going to be developed. Going to be ready. It's under development, but it's basically a switch to switch from different channels of NDI, set them on your pod, and the output will be sent to USB-C, so you can hook it up in your computer, in your laptop, and you can use the NDI streams as a Teams or Zoom or whatever kind of meeting you have as a webcam, and select it that way easily. And this product we now have downstairs. We've got it running on one of the screens as well. It's the Play. It's a very lightweight, small box. I keep saying it's like it feels like a Chromecast or an Apple TV kind of product. It's a tiny housing where you connect, you power with the USB this box. You connect a network cable, you put in an HDMI cable to your television or monitor or whatever you're using, and you can select any kind of screen, NDI stream in your network to be presented on the screen in 4K resolution. It's very powerful, it's very easy to control. I've seen it working with in live without any delays, working very nice in an editing situation. Really beautiful, and the price of the product is €160, so it's an affordable solution to use in the network. It's it's going to be a game changer in this world, because it's really going to affect to make a lot of things possible in any kind of broadcast or business type of situation. The way you can control it is with Cloud Connect. I've got Cloud Connect working on my phone now. You can download Cloud Connect, and you can. This is the way you can see all kind of sources and control it and play it back and see it from all over the world. This is the way that the Play is looking on your desktop. You can see what you select, and you can play the source you want to see. You can see a monitor in our office in Amsterdam, or in the BirdDog office in Australia. You can also, I've seen it working with controlling it, the pan tilt control over the network in Australia working. It's incredible to see how this all behaves, but it's really nice. This is software from BirdDog that can be used for all these kind of situations. So and with BirdDog Cloud you can connect with SRT. You can connect multiple local NDI networks together. So if you have a network in the US and you have a network in Europe, you can connect these and say, okay, I want this monitor, I want this source, this camera on that monitor, and that can be connected that way. This is the cam control software. This is how you see how advanced it is. We can do auto tracking, so it keeps following the persons. We can do very advanced color control in all different levels of colors. It's a very advanced feature. Central Light. It's this is software which you know also does all this kind of connections. Select the source, select the destination, and see how you can manipulate or playback these sources. Communications over audio. Multi-view is software to have NDI streams on one monitor and combine them or split them or do that or playback together. Dyno is the testing software. It's free. You can download it from the internet and you can check if your network is doing the right thing and if something goes wrong, where does it go wrong. That's very important to see, of course. And this is the Silicon 2, it's now being released at the moment, so we've got a ton of software coming out these weeks with from cloud to the comms to any kind of software is going to be released now. So that is what we've been working and that is now finally there. So that's the whole story I wanted to tell in a nutshell. It's all about connecting all these kind of features. So with Silicon 2, one of the big things is of course also, apart from NDI uncompressed, it can now do HX as well. So if you want to do compression, you can use compression. SRT is a big one. SRT is secure, reliable transport. It's a transport over a closed over internet. If you have, once you have a browser that's connected to the internet, you can use it and you can connect any camera to any monitors or even a play if you want to. ACVC, RTMP, all kind of different protocols that can now be supported with the cameras and with the converters, so it opens up a lot of new features as well. And we are, if people want to dive more into it and want to program or reprogram equipment, it's all possible with these tools. Like I said, I'm from Holdan. We're doing distribution of BirdDog throughout Europe, and we've got a lot of other brands that can be combined. New in this group is Mark Roberts motion control, which is can be used more in combination with these kind of products, because this is really they come from the high end, but they're now making affordable motion control cameras that can be used in this kind of AR or VR worlds where you want to control cameras more and have sliders and that sort of stuff. But that's everything. I've got with me 3 beautiful BirdDog baseball caps. If anyone wants to have them, I'm just picking the first ones to.
Thanks.
One? Yeah, you're first. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah. Are the mini converters already available? Because there were problems with buying them.
The studio converter is discontinued. The mini converter is still there. I have to check. I have to check. If I have to check if no, they're not on stock. Mm-hmm. But if it takes longer, then we need to check. So that's true. Yeah. I will come back to it. Can you come downstairs to the booth? Then. Yeah.
So correct me if I misheard, but you only need 1 gigabit per second bandwidth for recording, etc. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can select your own bandwidth you want to need. Obviously, if you go in a lower bandwidth, your image quality drops down. So that in that way you can set it up to fit into your current network.
Do you have any plans to make your cams, BirdDog cams as camcorder with recording possibility on it, or to the compact flash or SD card or something?
Yeah.
This is like Sony FR7 presented.
I can totally understand your question,
Okay.
but I can't answer it. I'm doing the distribution of released products, and I'm you know, I know a little bit what's coming, but I can't predict anything. But it is certainly I would say I agree, a nice feature to have a NDI recorder or something like that. So in any kind of way, or USB discs or whatever running next to it. Yeah, correct. Okay. Well, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.